Headquarters, I'm meteorologist Kelly Cass.
And I'm meteorologist Jen Carfagno. The Tornado Condition Index, or TORCON, is up to a 9 today, and the scale only goes to 10. So this is a very serious threat. Coming up, we'll pinpoint who will need to be on alert for tornadoes after dark tonight and how to make sure you'll receive tornado warning alerts on your phone.
Threat in effect as well. We've got tornado watches in effect for northern Louisiana, stretching up into southeastern Arkansas, northern Mississippi, going until 1 o'clock this afternoon. We will likely see additional watches being issued as we go throughout the day today. That's according to the Storm Prediction Center. Now, when a warning is issued for your area, they'll do that by parish in Louisiana. Don't underestimate that at all. We just had trees come down in our backyard with the last squall line that moved through a few weeks ago. So take these storms very seriously. Birmingham, it's a very scary day ahead. We've got a TORCON 9 on a scale that goes up to a 10. That's a high chance of seeing tornadoes in your area. Very likely to see some of those damaging winds that Jen just talked about, you know, up and over 70, 75 miles per hour. And we are likely to see some large hail mixed in with that heavy rain as well. We already have some flash flood warnings going just north of Birmingham, Alabama. We've had severe weather in this part of the state earlier this morning. Right now, nothing going on in the greater Birmingham area, but unfortunately, that will not be the case as we head towards later this afternoon. That's when the more vicious looking storms appear on our future radar. Again, take this with a grain of salt. This is just basically showing you where we have that potential for these strong storms to move on in. And you can see those individual cells that pop up even before the heavy stuff moves in. So any one of these storms could be rotating and produce a tornado. Then you get into some of the heavier stuff as we head towards the dinner time hour, toward the evening time frame, as the sun is setting around 7, 8 o'clock. Very strong storms, severe storms moving toward the Georgia state line at that time. For Jackson, Mississippi, we've got a TORCON 9 for today as well on a scale that goes to 10. Very likely to experience damaging winds, so the trees could come down, power lines as well. Make sure everything is charged up, that you've got a way to get those warnings and updates on these storms as they roll on through. 10 o'clock this morning, yes, there will be some activity, but it's really going to be the early afternoon hours where we see the worst of the weather come right along I-20 here in Mississippi, and even another quick batch moving through later on tonight.
That will be ongoing through the overnight tonight into tomorrow, and there is a severe thunderstorm threat on Sunday as well. The area at risk stretches from northern Florida right up into northern Virginia, including parts of Maryland and West Virginia, the D.C. area. We've got a large zone with a chance of thunderstorms. Now, the threat overall is lower tomorrow than today, but we still have a threat. It's a 3 on the TORCON. So it's not a 9, but it is a 3. It's not 0. A 2 surrounds it, and that does include up to the D.C. area and down to Jacksonville. There is that potential that we could see some isolated tornadoes. That's what generally a day with a 3 means. Isolated tornadoes possible. Tornado watches could be issued. Thunderstorms will be ongoing from overnight tonight, and we'll keep tracking those for you throughout the day tomorrow. Watching thunderstorms moving through South Georgia and into central South Carolina. Columbia, we're likely to get some thunderstorms here. Raleigh here as well. And then as we get through the afternoon, there may be some renewed thunderstorms that pop just out ahead of the cold front. And so we will watch that again for the chance of some strong winds and the isolated tornado risk there as well. Tracking it for you here as we look at the future radar. Roanoke in the morning, Charlotte in the morning. This is 9 a.m. You might want to adjust your plans accordingly. It does move through pretty quickly. Raleigh, for you, it's just after lunchtime or brunch time for your Sunday, and then we keep it going. Savannah, I know you got a lot going on this weekend with St. Patrick's Day on Monday, so there's festivities outside all weekend. Tomorrow will be interrupted by that. Overnight into early Monday morning, we'll be looking at things pushing offshore, maybe a few showers left in eastern North Carolina, and in that point, Jacksonville will have the storms move past as well. Now, the kind of winds that we're looking at, 45 to 57 mile per hour winds, which could happen. This is not even severe limits. 60 is severe limits. These kind of winds could bend trees, break some small limbs, could cause some cosmetic damage to homes, and this is certainly a possibility with all of the storms we are getting at. So you don't even need to get to severe limits for that. But once you get to severe, 58, 60 plus miles per hour, larger tree limbs can break, shallow rooted trees can be pulled over, and semi-trucks can be overturned as well.
I fear we'll see a lot of damage.
All the risks, tornadoes, strong, severe damaging winds are going to be on the move through the overnight hours. We're going to talk about the timing in the Atlanta area. Atlanta itself under a 5 on the TORCON. Likely storms with damaging winds, and it's possible large hail as well. In western Georgia, there is a 7 on the TORCON, but Atlanta is under a 5. So let's look at the timing here. I know it's important. It's always busy in the weekend in Atlanta, but especially this one. A lot of proms taking place, a lot of games this afternoon. There's some showers this morning across northern parts of Georgia. Those are generally not severe. They've had some lightning, but as we get through the nighttime, that's when the thunderstorms track in. So your pictures are probably fine for prom, but now we look at 11 o'clock and we start to see some showers moving in, and it's after that, most likely after 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m. That's when the line of storms with the biggest severe threat is going to be moving through. So make sure you have a way to get warnings and move everyone to safety if indeed you are under a tornado warning. Farther to the north, we do that 7. This is in North Georgia, in Rome, a 7. In northern Alabama, in Fort Payne, and in Huntsville, it's a 7. Same thing up into southern parts of Tennessee. In Chattanooga, you're right on the edge between a 5 and a 7 on the Torcon. We've been following thunderstorms ongoing here. In Coleman, Alabama, we've had inches of rain already with flash flooding ongoing in this area. Roads covered with water. Be careful.
Falling trees is often overlooked, but as storms bring high winds and heavy rain, weakened trees can become deadly threats. As winds more than 75 miles per hour blast across the South today, meteorologist Alex Wilson shows us some ways to protect ourselves and our property. You don't know which way a tree is going to come down. You know, we had more than 230 severe wind reports just yesterday. And Jen, today into tomorrow, we've got more action.
And tomorrow we've got possible thunderstorms from Florida right up into northern Virginia, including in the D.C. area. Wind is probably the most likely threat, severe winds coming out of storms, but there is a tornado risk. We have a 3 on the Torcon for tomorrow. Richmond, Raleigh, Columbia, some of the cities that are in this, and a 2 surrounding it. So it's not as high as today, but it's not 0.
And we've got outdoor events. We've got St. Patrick's Day on Monday. A lot of people heading to Savannah. You've got the PGA Championship Games, the PGA stop there at Sawgrass outside of Jacksonville. So a lot of outdoor events to kind of keep track of, maybe needing to adjust those schedules. But with a Torcon 3, that means we can't rule out isolated tornadoes, and we could see a watch issued at some point during the day tomorrow as well.
We'll be watching ongoing thunderstorms from tonight that will start in the morning, moving east. And so we'll track those for you. But we also think some new thunderstorms will develop as well, probably along our middle of it right now. Thunderstorms are ongoing. We see them here across western Mississippi, Arkansas, here the eastern part of the state, and Louisiana. Actually, you know, still extending down to Texas. We have a couple of storms left. A
couple of severe warnings right there as well. But in the red, that's where we have the active tornado warnings. Let's zoom in to this one right here in Louisiana, just to the south of Monroe, which is Ouachita County. But we've got the southern part of Ouachita, Parish, I should say, that is looking at rotation, not too far from Route 557. Could be some hail embedded with that heavy rain.
There could be. And heavy rain, that's another big part of all of these storms. I've been seeing more and more flash flooding concerns coming out. So make sure that you really don't travel today. I mean, we've got these threats, the severe thunderstorm warnings with the risk for strong damaging winds. Most of them have said tornado possible.
Tornado possible. So even when it's a severe warning, please take it seriously. Get down to your safe place. It's going to be a dangerous day and night ahead.